Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eike Sky and welcome along to the Apex Online Racing Assetto Corsa Competizione GT3 League. Season 4, Round 3 from Kyalami. And the first, if I remember correctly, it's been a long couple of weeks, night race for the season for our GT3 drivers. You've missed nothing. We are just looking at the very start of qualifying at the moment as Veerman leaves the pits in the 142 on this extraordinarily beautiful Kyalami track in South Africa. The drivers will be on their outlets very quickly. Siklari already out in the number 1 car, and who else is out that is worthy of note? Something that was noteworthy is Onco once again very much up in free practice again. 39 drivers to start the race, so slightly down on what we saw last time out, but that will not take away from any of the action tonight. If anything, that'll just make casting a little tiny bit easier. Give you some split times as well on the heads-up display. There is not live timing as far as I'm aware. I don't know if there's any way to get that going. But 90 minutes of racing for our drivers tonight. A fairly high chance of rain as well for this particular circuit as well from South Africa. But that is not the focus of right now. For right now, we have clear qualifying. Yellow sectors around as people try to push the limits on these GT3 cars. And with 15 minutes of qualifying, they're going to need to get a move on. Siklari is flashing the Bentley in front of him. So I was trying to look for a Bentley earlier. It didn't really come to fruition, but Siklari is a man on a mission as well. Doing very well last time out. I assume that's Honzik. Some support for Honzik in the other Ferrari, the 39. I think he's the only Jardier on the track tonight. But we should just start to see times beginning to come in soon. It looks like Siklari there slowed down, but he will get a time on the board, I think. 1:48 goes Getven for an opening bout, and that is very much on the pace. El Haddad will lower that to 1:40.47, and Malinowski will go 1:40.3, so low 40s is what we're looking at in these early bouts. And we need to get up to the top of the timetables again. There we go. Machowski, Greco, a mere 700ths behind, so very much a Porsche show so far at the head of the field. Followed by Onco, once again breaking the trend of the pace of the Mercedes. He really does have that 44 car pegged for performance. It looks like he's actually coming down, yeah, back down the hill. Beautiful four-wheel drift from the 44. Tell you what, at this early stage in qualifying, for those of you who haven't seen the track layout, I could almost do with a track layout here so I know where all the cars are on the track. That'd be handy. But we'll Onco, it looks like people doing one lap and then jumping back into the pits to replace or refresh their tyres. Let's get everything in the right order. There we go. And Malinowski in the 992 goes to the top, but Kevin Seclari briefly holding the number 1 spot. See if Malinowski goes to the top of the timesheets now, coming straight across the line. And now let's jump on board with the 992 Porsche down into turn 1, which is called Crowthorne. And now we climb and climb and climb up through, I'm not saying that name, Jet Sweep. Then left into Barbecue, and I'm loving these corner names as well as this track layout. Unfortunately, Malinowski is going to abandon to the pits. Lucky is just leaving, so a guaranteed, hopefully we'll get a couple of laps out of him. But the pit lane, very nice. You see this long white line on the right hand side is going to keep the drivers to the inside when they're leaving the pits. Again, 90-minute race tonight, mandatory pit stop. This is going to be something that the drivers are going to be using under race conditions, so it's important to know what they're doing, how they're doing it. So now, once again, up and over Barbecue, around Barbecue, and now a long sweeping right-hander coming up called Sunset. Down a gear for the Porsche of Lucky W, just trying to get some heat into those tyres and keep the car straight, and then up over Clubhouse Bend. You can see that directly in front of you. There's the clubhouse appearing over the hill. And now, get ready for a sight, ladies and gentlemen, as they go through the S's. Does Lucky, you see South Africa. No, I'm not saying that sweep again. If anyone wants to give me a phonetic pronunciation of whatever that corner is, I'm going to defer to that. But that's going to be a new no-name corner. Up through Leocop and back down through Mineshaft. Absolutely gorgeous graphics from the game and beautiful scenery from the track here. The Crocodiles is a really strange name for that off-camber right-hand hairpin, and then Cheetah, and the last corner is Inge, I think. Again, South Africa, I haven't got too much exposure to that, but that is a lap of this Kyalami circuit in the nighttime, early dawn. No, it's nighttime. It is nighttime. 11:39 PM is coming up to midnight, and these drivers, some of them might be getting towards that time in real life. Oh yeah, the names on these corners are absolutely incredible. They sound like they belong on Bathurst, to be fair. Seeing Barbecue, Clubhouse, and Mineshaft. Yeah, okay. Absolutely outstanding. Meanwhile, on track, we still have 6 minutes remaining, and we saw the time from Seclari pip to the top of the timesheets earlier. He has now been demoted to 7th position, as the pace of the Audis and Porsches just runs away from the rest of the field. Even Wonko can't live with the pace of them. The first non-VAG powered, judging by the non-VAG powered time, Seclari is the first in 7th in the Ferrari, and then the next is Niles in 12th. So a bit of a Volkswagen Audi group show here tonight, with the Porsches leading the way so far. Pathos making a brilliant point in chat. It looks like a lot of drivers can win the race tonight, but it is going to be a bit of a German show. The only real challenger at the moment, and let's not discount Seclari in that 7th position. He is a master of strategy and a master pilot of the wheel as well. Really does know his stuff, and he is one who we should be looking for some kind of resurgence during the race. Just letting the time tick down for the time being. There's probably 3 or 4 more laps. 3 laps. Nowhere near 4 laps. 3 laps left for those out on track at the moment. So it could all change, and as always, just because the timer hits 0 doesn't mean that's the end of the competition. The track is always rubbering in and getting faster and faster as these drivers run round. In reality, what you want to be doing is staying out on track as much as possible to get the track rubbered in and get the fastest times possible from these GT3 cars. Yeah, I can well imagine the Porsches and the Audis are fastest as Statsenko puts it to the first row of the grid provisionally. Across the line he goes in the 144. That is 500ths off the pace of the 11 Porsche. So, bit of an Audi and Porsche show tonight, but the 2 Ferraris are together as well. That's good for both of them. Means that they can work together to get towards the top of the grid. Statsenko peels off to the pits, and I think he's got enough time for one more, possibly 2 more. 140, no, not quite. That's a shame. If Statsenko's out again, yeah, he's rolling, but he's only going to have 1 more flying lap, it looks like, by the time he gets to the end of the pit lane. Meanwhile, Malinowski in the second Porsche just come across the line again and does not go any quicker for the time being. Still only 0.2 on the to the arrears, and that is, I just had to confirm that both Malinowski and Elgato have done exactly the same time. I've got a third-party timing screen up, and I was just like, down to the 1,000th of a second. Yep, they are. That is the same time. So Malinowski must have done a 1,000,000th of a second faster. Just in case you were worried that the field was going to be a little bit too spread out, let's jump down to Prendergast in 22nd in the number 10 Ferrari, looking like running around in Ferrari red colours as well. Just in case you're worried about the pace of the cars, from top to bottom on the grid pretty much, we've got 39. A second covers from 1st to 29th. Again, just in case you were worried. And Machowski's going faster. Across the line, he takes 0.2 off of his previous time, not to be outdone. However, Elgato goes quicker again. Solman out on track as well, is currently 0.3 up on his previous time. In the 991 is going to get not blocked, but there was a car on the inside there. Is that going to affect him? No, he is going even faster with the Ferrari running in fast. That is 0.4 up through the second sector on his previous time. He is looking good for the second row of the grid. Second row of the grid. At the moment, time is undulating a little bit. And now, around the crocodiles and back down the hill towards the start line. This is where it's going to make all the difference. Oh, big bump there on the inside. Maybe that was a bit too far over the curb. 0.3 up still is Nico Solman. We're going to follow him across the line as we have 20 seconds left remaining on this session. We will very soon be finding out. And third he goes. Second row of the grid for the 991. And as always, Lucky W going faster as well. This is really starting to build into something ridiculous as the time is about to expire. 3, 2, 1, and that is the end of the session. We have a 2-minute 30 wait time, but none of these drivers are going to take anywhere near that time to get around the end of the track. Oneko is in the pits, Saklari is in the pits, so they will take no further part. Chorus, Niles in the pits. Sean Arnold has rocketed up to 11th in the 77 Ferrari. Fantastic pace there. Lucky is still a 10th up on his previous time. Behind him as well, Alexi Meyer is going faster as well. See if he can hold that off to the end of the lap. 0.495 is the deficit to first for the time being. He will take 4th place, rounding out 2 solid rows of Porsches at the top of the timesheets. And Meyer in the 474 Audi, when the camera decides to catch up, is 5/10 off at the moment, but we'll have to see. Currently running on par with their previous time. Jardia Honzik, meanwhile, is running 2/10 up on where he was before, and that could make an enormous difference to his position. That could bring him up into the top 10 if he has the opportunity to do that. He's going to come around the last corner in the 39 car, still maintaining a 10th, 2/10 on the live timing. Will come across the line and do a 140.1 to bring him all the way up to 8th. The first non-VAG car goes to Jaroslav Honzik. It's Jardia, isn't it? Jardia Honzik. End of the session. And my goodness, do we have a insane race waiting for you all in a few moments. We'll wait for the grid to form up before running through the grid. And I will take a very, very brief breath. And it is raining in South Africa. There has been no rain throughout any of the sessions up until now in Tier 1, and it chooses today, of all days, to bring the rain. So Greco will lead the drivers away on the formation lap. Beside him in the second Porsche, the 919, will be Nizai El Haddad. Very, very lovely livery there. 991 Nico Solomon doing a fantastic job to get to the second row of the grid, and Lucky W as well. Teammates, it looks like I'm going to go with teammates, judging entirely on the livery. Stasenko will be the first Audi in the 144, Malinowski in the 992. No, don't do that to me. I have that song stuck in my head most of the time. I don't need it while I'm commentating this, because I will just start randomly singing it. Malinowski in 6th will take the first half of the third row of the grid. 7th will be... Hang on, let me get the helicopter cam. There we go. Meyer in 7th will be the second Audi. First of the Ferraris and the non-VAG group cars will be Jardi Honzik in the 39, looking to make up some places. Niles in the 444 Lamborghini, don't know where that came from, will take 9th. 10th will be Chorus. Narakowski in 11th with a drive-through, assumedly for previous driving standards. Sean Arnold will start 12th in the 77. King will start 13th in the 38. The 915 car of Dimov is starting 14th. 15th will be Saklari in the number 1 car. Oneko will be starting 16th. Was so close to the top of the field in free practice. It just goes to show how much difference a session makes. Chintz in the 64 will start 17th. Babin in 18th. Cavion in 19th. The 808 of Samrats in 20th. Hart Kemper, I did the thing again, in the 110 will start 21st. Toods will start 22nd. Really good starting position for Toods. He's going to be someone to watch, as his race pace is very, very good. But he seems to find himself struggling with traffic, shall we say. Chavez will start the 213. Exited. Dominic Goals will start the number 2 car in 24th. Prendergast in 25th. 26th will be Gietvan. Sanders will start 27th. 28th will be Andrade. 29th will be, that's the second McLaren. Chavez was the first. Grabowski in 29th. 30th will be Stevenson. Veerman will be 31st. 32nd will be Aiden Bro. Felix De Jong will start 33rd. 34th will be Alban Bouquet. Willem Karsten in 35th. 36th will be Police. Alexander Weissel in 38th. Matt Yorkie will be starting 38th. And 39th will be Isaias Varela in the number 99 car. That looks like an Aston to me. Yep. The older generation Aston, however. Whereas Yorkie, you can see the line across the back of the car, signifying they are in the newer chassis. So, the warm-up lap is a go, and this is going to be an extraordinary start to a race. Patience is going to be key. This endurance race is 90 minutes long with a mandatory pit stop, and we are going to need every single minute of it to root out the men from the boys on this absolutely astounding class track. Elevation change and bumpy apexes and braking zones is going to be the recipe of the day, so handling is at a premium, and traction too off of the slower corners is also a massive boon to have. That's probably why we see so many Porsches up the head of the field. They are kind of built for the traction here. As we follow the drivers round, I say, drivers to watch. Wunko in that Mercedes has proven to be a staple of the top of the field. Is that Seclari? Seclari has stopped on the formation lap. I don't know if he's going to be able to resume his... He should be able to. Yep. Some problems for Seclari, and we've not even gotten to the green flag yet, so... Yep, it is light rain, it is not heavy rain. It's going to be a really difficult decision because with so many cars on track, the racing line is going to dry up in a couple of laps. It's not going to take very long at all. So yeah, wets are going to be burning, slicks are going to be horribly slippery for the first couple of laps, but will very quickly come into their own. We'll get the split times up for you and focus on the head of the field. Still a bit of time to go yet, but drivers to be looking out for. Seclari 15th, Wunko 16th. Rats is also a boon of consistent pace. Gietvan is a bit slower than I would be expecting him to be. And another man, of course, to be watching is Matt York. Led the race on strategy last time out as the drivers are forming up into their 2x2 formation really quite early, but that's good to see. We should have a nice tidy start at least then. But we have to ask the question, who's running what tyres and how much are they going to die come 5 or 6 laps in? You see the ticker at the top of the timesheets? No, at the top of your screen, sorry. We'll have eyes on Jade Honzik here as we come towards the green. Jump to the helicopter camera. Have a slightly wider angle than you have on the TV screens, thankfully. The lights go green and all of the drivers at once pull to the right pedal and see what we can find. 4 wide they go into turn 1. It's all very polite and very patient for the time being. Machowski, it looks like... Oh, no, I'm getting... Grabowski will take to the top of the timesheets temporarily. Side by side goes El Haddad and Solman. Lucky W and Solman, there we go. It's really difficult to see with all these headlights. But very polite, very calm driving so far from all involved. Honzik is going to lose out to Statsenko, it looks like, just in these early bouts. Oh, and that is a collision behind what we just missed. That was 3 or 4 cars, and trying to rejoin, this is where it all goes very wrong. Come on. Oh, there we go. The tightness of the traffic at the track and the wetness not helping absolutely anybody's race here. And just first lap drama, really difficult to avoid things like that. I need a bigger screen, obviously. But in all that scuffle, Toots has made his way up to 19th, so nicely staying out of trouble so far. As Rats in the 808 will drop to 35th, perhaps. The one car's on the grass, trying to run behind the Bentley. So Ciclari's had an absolute nightmare of a start. Aiden Bro as well has had a nightmare as well, but Yorkie is all the way up to 28th and right in the thick of it. Is going to drop into the pit lane very, very early along with a few other cars. This will be pitting for damage, but this is a really interesting problem now, because these guys are all having to pit for damage. Can they do it? Can they make this their one stop for damage and run to the end of the race? We'll jump to the top of the timesheets where El Haddad was putting pressure on Solman across the line, but has dropped back a little bit. This enormous train of, what would that be, 2nd to 8th by the looks of it. Yep, that is all of them. Porsche, Audi, Porsche, Ferrari, Porsche, Mercedes, as quick as you can say them, coming through the top of this Kyalami circuit. In the back of this train, Chorus is having a bit of a time trying to defend to Oneco. Ah, right. So so that is a pure loss for those drivers taking damage on at this very early stage of the race. No chance of being able to not being able to run to the end of the race. Even if they capped off the fuel, there is not enough fuel in those tanks to get them to the end of the race. There's going to be at least one more pit stop to make during the rest of the race, as Chorus is so close to the back of Honzik here. Honzik had made a very opportune start in the early stages of the race. Oh, and here we go. Cars already laps down because of trying to pit, and this is the battle for 5th at the moment. Chorus all over the back of Honzik. Honzik has the inside now for turn 2 up the hill, but that 27 car made a very early statement of intent to let the Porsche get nice and close to that Ferrari, but Chorus is under pressure from Oneco as well. Yep, I totally understand that. I wonder if these guys, the guys that are quicker, are running on slick tyres. You have to wonder. Statsenko falling into the clutches of Machowski here. Oh, maybe he's already fallen. Hang on. Yep, he's already fallen to Greco. Nope, that was wrong. The Audi is putting pressure. There we go. I don't know if that rain is getting heavier. It's getting a bit. The visibility is getting ever so slightly worse, but I don't know how much worse it's getting. The wet tyres may have been the right tyre to be on after all. The Porsche is going to have to give way through the crocodiles. And now down the hill and through the last corner. It's not crocodiles, is it? It's called cheetah. Is that crested bump. Statsenko in the 144 Audi will take the very early lead of the race then. Followed by Machowski, then El Haddad. Really comfortable in third at the moment. Well, not really comfortable, but as comfortable as you can get with the car 6/10 behind you. Lucky W in the third of the Porsches in fourth place is going to be up next, and then the first real gap here is Honzik, who appears to have gotten past Onco. No, he was already in front of Onco. Onco has taken chorus. Yeah, man, those turn names are incredible. And now the 44 is going for the 39. There's space left by Honzik there. But can the Mercedes get the cut back on the throttle? I think he's alongside now, and the pass is made for Onco there. A man on a mission is that Mercedes driver, and I think that's Lucky W will be next on his start list. And thank you very much, Georgia Boone, in chat as well. Prendergast, a man that I did want to say had we should keep eyes on, started 25th, already up to 11th position in that number 10 Ferrari, so doing good work as he forces another Ferrari off the road. Oh, that's a bit rude. That's a bit rude all round, but nonetheless, I think that's going to be 10th for him come the end of the lap now. Yep, that is 10th position, so that was a pass for position, and Nell said, what was that in the back? I'm pretty sure I saw a car sideways. Yep, there was definitely a car sideways there. Oh well. Nonetheless, back to Prendergast now to 9th position, it looks like, yeah. So has taken Shintz, it looks like, in... I wonder if Veerman had an issue there. Next on Prendergast's hit list will be Arnold in a sister Ferrari. It looks like Prendergast isn't playing the Ferrari game tonight, though. He's wanting those positions and points more than anything else in this very, very early point in the race. For your references, you see the yellow number ones, or the white number one in yellow, surround. That is the amount of pit stops that these drivers need to make. And Prendergast goes up the inside, a fairly easy pass there for the 10 car. Perhaps feeling a little bit more comfortable on these tyres than a few of the drivers around him. And that will be 8th position, with Arnold 6/10 behind already. Superb driving from Kieran at the moment. Veerman too is looking to put pressure on the Ferrari of Shintz in the 64. All of them very, very close together at the moment now, coming onto the start-finish straight. The Audi, whoa. Shintz pulls right to the... I don't think that was Shintz. Ah, that'll be why. Are those lapping cars getting out of the way, or is that going to be... No, I think that was actually a Ferrari going right defensive very, very early on. Yep, the 64 and the 77 following each other. Bit of a mistake made there because the... really spoke too soon. Shintz in the 64. Come on, actually focus on where he is. There we go. Shintz in the 64. Bit of a racing incident there, I've got to say. Parked it on the inside, went all the way around, but didn't think of the Audi on the outside there. He wants to get to Jade, does he? Oh. Oh, and the 2 car goes round and back onto the track, and they're sideways across the track now. Where the heck is the 2 car? 77 is going of Arnold is going to make contact, and that is a catastrophe, and we have to be really clever now. on the rejoin, as this is going to be... Oh, man. That's a bit naughty, that is. That's a bit naughty, drawing straight back onto the racing line. You would hope that there is a slightly better standard. We're going to jump to goals as he rolls down the... Whoa! Yep, Arnold having another moment. I don't know whether that was on his own or whether it was induced, but those tyres are going to be properly dead by now. And just in front, as the timing screens try to catch up, they're going 3 and 4 wide. Oh, and it's a nightmare in the middle sector for goals, who I think may have already been carrying damage, just trying to keep out of the way, but this track is so tight. What on earth can you do? The 44 car of Niles is going really defensive again. I wonder why they're going all the way over there. That seems like a really interesting line to take to try and defend. As behind, let me just... That was a pass between the Ciclari number 1. Oh, what on earth is going on here? Everyone's losing it. The rain has eased up again. Felix de Jong is going to bear the brunt of the front of the number 1 Ferrari. And at the moment, I think it's actually a bit better to just try and keep track of the cars. As a moment for the Lamborghini. Who was that Lamborghini? Come on. Wasn't Gietvan. Gietvan's fine. Was that Niles? I think it was, you know. Yeah, it was. Struggling on hot, wet tyres. That 444 car is seriously struggling. I don't think that people have forgotten it as an endurance race. I think they have forgotten that they need to go easy on those wet tyres if they don't want to cook them. Meanwhile, who is that? Prendergast up to 6th position. Here we go. This will be target acquired for Kieran Prendergast here, with Jardies Honzik in front. They say it's an endurance race. I've not seen any evidence of it so far. I think the biggest endurance race gap that we have so far is up at the lead, but 9th and 10th, the split was a mere 700ths of a second. Oh my goodness. And it is a touch for Wachowski on the inside there. I think that was Chorus just touching the 11 car there, maybe just missing his braking point slightly. Very polite to have waited as well. We'll jump up the field slightly to Veerman, who's still in a battle with Prendergast and soon to be Honzik as well. Honzik's pace has fallen off. Either that or Prendergast is on a tear, and he is dragging the 142 Audi with him. Through the 213 McLaren goes Veerman. And here we go. That is battle joined for Prendergast with the 39 car. It goes to the tight line and coming down the hill. The next corner is going to be a right-hander over the kink. He's going to have to be so careful here. Avoids the curb beautifully, forces the position, and the Audi is going to go up the inside of Honzik as well. That's 2 positions lost in 2 corners for Honzik. Bit of a tragedy for him at the moment, but I'm sure there is a reason for that. He might have been going for the pit, but he was blocked by an Audi. There was nothing he could do there. Superb driving, and Veerman isn't done with Prendergast yet, and I don't think Prendergast is done with the top of this field yet either. Only 8 seconds further up the road is the 29 car of Lucky W. And coming through the first split now, as they go towards... It's 8.7 seconds. Rain stopping in 2 minutes, so here we go. This is where the This is where the gambles start to pay off for those that may have been running around on slicks and just holding on. It will be the right call, it seems, for the race. As it's not as though there's not enough action on track, it's because, oh my goodness, I don't have enough breath in my lungs. Getven on the back of Bouquet is, wow, as the timing screens update, Getven goes from 10th to 7th, taking a whole lot of places there from Bouquet, Honzik and Chorus, it looks like. As Honzik on the back of Bouquet. Nope, that's a lapped car, that is. Come on. Honzik is, yes, Dimov in the 915. A lap down. So, Dimov currently getting in the way of the battle for 8th position. It looks like Bouquet is on the back of the 900. Oh yeah, no, the slicks are going to have a horrible time lasting till the end. They will have taken the shine off of the slick tyres where in the wet. So trying to hold on, it will have taken the temperature down, and they'll be struggling to make these tyres last till the end. They're going to need to change tyres, so there isn't an advantage there, but they may well find themselves being on the right tyre now for the rest of the race, unless it starts raining again. So, right, where do we look to next? Veerman in the 142 Audi, still eyeing up the back of Prendergast's car. Fast enough, it looks like, to pull away once he's in front, but not quite fast enough to pass. We keep coming up to Prendergast when he's coming around this second to last corner at Cheetah. Really is ridiculous names on this track. And the last corner, and Audi's just not able to make it work through the latter half of the track, but he seems to get so close up the first part of the circuit. Honzik, meanwhile, come on, there we go, is putting pressure on Chorus by the looks of it. I don't think I remember seeing those positions change. Or maybe I did. Honzik struggling around on the wets. He hasn't pitted yet. And you have to wonder whether now would be a good time to pit before he loses any more time to the cars behind. I see. So they're trying to hold on until they can get the... they're trying to hold on until they can get to the end of the race on fuel. But look at how Honzik is getting swarmed. Just getting driven around by every other mark of car. That Ferrari's not a slow car, and Honzik is not a slow driver. But those tyres are struggling. You have to wonder if it might be quicker to just take a double pit stop, or if he's just going to end up losing as much time as he would anyway. Into the pits goes Honzik. He's had enough of those wet tyres. He's made the call, and I as a driver, I was feeling it. I didn't think that he was happy on those tyres. He's going to have to two-stop, but this means that he can just make this a tyre stop. Doesn't have to take any fuel at the moment, or maybe he thinks he can eco it. Maybe he thinks he can eco. This is going to be a really interesting strategy play now for Honzik, so that this isn't damage control. This isn't. He's not struggling. He didn't pit because of damage. It wasn't really forced. He was pushed by the conditions and is just making the most of it. And now we'll have to watch Honzik's pace as he leaves the pits. How far short on fuel would he be if he had a filled up then? Excellent. Thank you very much, Racing Dream. That's really good information. So this is the very earliest of the pit window. So maybe it's a stroke of genius from Honzik there. He's gonna be behind. He's behind Babin, Mayer, and Yorkie at the moment. But with a bit of clear air to get those slick tyres working. And we wait for the split time to come through. Oh, he's dropped another place as well. Oh, that's heartbreaking. That's a shame. But 21st for Honzik at the moment. He's probably our man to watch as he will climb up the field. The first of the drivers to pit who should be able to make it to the end of the race. So looking at Wonko here, who has taken Lucky W. Now sitting in third at the moment. He's not done yet. He's half a second off the back of Eldadad, who makes a mistake, goes wide through the S's, and gifts the Mercedes that place. I didn't realise that that Mercedes 44 looks so evil that the Porsche drivers are jumping off the track to avoid it. And the gap between first and second now is 13.2 seconds. And suddenly, this is a very, very interesting fight for the win. With an hour and 7 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen, this is your fight for the win. We're going to have it interspersed by pit stops. We're going to have drama and lappery through the entirety, but that is your battle. That is Wonko's sign that he needs to beat. 2/10 in the first sector that he's taken in second place, and you have to wonder whether that 44 car is just a little bit more insistent than Statsenko in the Audi in first. This is a very difficult thing to be watching, as Police circulating around in 13th is under a lot of pressure from Karsten in the Lamborghini at the moment. Not going to push the issue for the moment, but the 998 is looking very intently at the back of Police here. It's going to pull out to the outside, but the corner goes right first. That will give... Oh no, there's just so much speed. So much speed on that Lambo that as the Ferrari looks to go 3 wide. That's a bit of an odd one. Was that Ferrari in the fight actually? No. Arnold in the 77 interfering with a much higher position race there between Karsten and Police. Karsten has the pace for sure in the 998, but is going to have to do it all again thanks to the efforts of Arnold in that Ferrari. As Karsten regains his thoughts and marbles and tries to put another attack on Palais here. It's an interesting problem for Karsten, because he could make an attack here as he goes to look for out the inside. Palais gives him room. They go side by side through the crocodiles, and that Ferrari once again once again, Arnold is getting right involved with this battle. He thinks he's quicker. He knows that he can make the pass on Police here. But you have to... That's... and he goes wide. Arnold goes wide and is going to interfere with this battle for 13th again. As the Mercedes has to go side by side with the 77 into turn 1. He's going to just let the car go because it's not their fight. But the pace... Hang on, let me just get Police on camera. There we go. But the pace of Police is not up with Arnold at the moment. But at the same time, his lapped car, he should not have been interfering in a leading battle like that. Right, that's enough of commentators' opinions. Let's get back to some proper racing. Prendergast and Veerman still attached by a very, very short bungee lead. Someone needs to cut that for when they need to go and pit. This is the closest battle in the top 10, it looks like. And yet again, this is going to be one of those things that will run and run and run. Prendergast seems to be peerless today with his driving, and Veerman too is top notch with his attacking as well. Down into turn 1, we follow this battle for 5th position. Jade is already... Yes, Honzik is battling with Dalking in 19th position. Suddenly the race is starting to come back to Honzik a little bit. We saw him running all the way down in 24th when he came out of the pits. That's 19th now. And again, while... 18th now. What happened there? I think that looks like Bro has had an incident of some description in the Aston and dropped down a little bit. And now coming down the hill, Cheetah for the right-hander. The 38 car is going to run a little bit too wide, get on the bumps, and that's going to be all the invitation that Honzik needs. Tucked up underneath the rear wing of King here. Thank you very much for the information as well. Honzik goes to the inside on Dalking. Very easily done. Beautifully driven. But Dalking's not quite done with him yet. Tries to pull back to the inside, but there's nothing happening there. Goes to the inside yet again. There is a possibility of it happening here. Honzik, beautifully driven, gives Dalking space. But the move is made, and that is all she wrote. Honzik now up to 17th. Next on his hit list is going to be Nick Babin in the 925 Porsche. But he himself is only a mite up the road, and looking at the back of the 474 Audi, so Jade doing 143s is on pace now for top 10 material. 142s is where the higher end of the grid is at the moment, though. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. That's good to hear from chat that the two teammates are able to have a little bit of banter every now and then. Just looking at King here. Still got a little bit of space to the front and rear of him. But behind, Varela and Cavion are going at it. Cavion in the Mercedes looking like he has a bit of pace on Varela in first. Varela, remember, qualified last on the grid, now up to 20th, doing really well, and has made a pit stop as well. Whether that's through damage or through strategy, it has been done. He has made his pit stop, and he can now run to the end of the race. The sparks coming off these GT3 cars looks absolutely glorious. For all of its faults, ACC really does know how to do atmosphere really quite well. I'll tell you what, while we've got a Mercedes on camera, let's take the advantage and jump on board and listen to that beautiful Mercedes engine as they come over the top of the hill, down through the S's, and they'll go uphill once more towards Leeuwkup, and just watch as the horizon extends as they come around it. I'm going to stay silent for this bit. What an astounding piece of scenery, what an astounding soundtrack, and it really is almost heartbreaking to interrupt it. I just, if you notice that I stay silent for quite a while, I just love the sound of these cars. They really do sound glorious. Cavion in the 56 chasing Varela in the 99. It looks like Varela's struggling on those tyres for the time being, but Cavion doesn't have the pace quite to push the advantage past the 99. Meanwhile, Chorus has just leapfrogged up to 13th, and we missed the pass. I was just about to go and look there, unfortunately. It looks like, oh, it was Veerman that got past. Actually, no, Veerman was way higher up a minute ago. Veerman was chasing Prendergast. So what's happened to Veerman here? 142 is the car we're looking for. We're going to 142 has stopped in the pits. Is that everything that's happened? I think that's... Yep. So is that the first of our... Oh, that's why. There we go. So Yorkie Chorus, Veerman are now our leading pit stoppers, and you have to wonder whether that is pure strategy. Veerman feeling that he is faster than Prendergast. Back into the pits goes Veerman. Yeah, no, I'm not on a replay. It's fine. Veerman going back into the pits. It looks as though he's having pit stop troubles. This is going to be heartbreak for the 142 here. Really is. Didn't tell the split times to run away. Damn it! As once again we miss another pass because of UI stuff. Palise has lost a position to the 998 of Karsten. Just under an hour to go. We're a third of the way through the race, ladies and gentlemen, and the action hasn't stopped, and neither has my damn voice. Right. We take a moment. Police is now the last of the non-pitted runners. I'm just going to confirm further down the grid as well. Solman at the tail of the grid, down 17 laps, looks like a retirement, so he is not counted here. Yorkie, currently the leader of the one-stops drivers, but is going to have to pit again for fuel in the very least, unfortunately. The 065 car looking gorgeous in the black and red, black and yellow. Red are the taillights, and the exhaust tips, of course, are red as well. Black and yellow for the Aston Martin Yorkie there, running out on his own, quite comfortable in 11th position at the moment. And this is going to look very clever at the moment, but he does not have the fuel to last to the end of the race. 17th now, Akowski on the back of Dalking now. Porsche versus Ferrari, still in the order that we read them. Thank goodness we haven't missed this fight as well. That 25 car looking to make the position. He's been pulling up slowly for a few laps now, and now he pulls up as close as he dares to the 38. Thank you for the kind words. It is a bit of a marathon, this one. So thankfully the soundtrack to the rest of at the track is more than enough to keep everybody entertained, including myself, for when I need to have a very brief drink. Rats is looking at the back of Solari as well further down the field. We're going to focus on this battle for the time being between the 25 and 38. But as he's closing in, he's edging closer now. 10th by 10th, he's going to be right up in the draft of the 38, so this is where he's going to start losing the aero benefit. Thankfully, the Porsche does still have the engine right out the back over the rear wheels, so just able to get the car in a bit tighter than the Ferrari is. Up over the top of the hill, nothing going to happen here. It's a bit too complex a corner that they want to... you don't want to be fighting through that particular corner. I'm not going to pronounce the name. Patrick. Oh, up the inside goes Nowakowski. Side by side, they go into the crocodiles. Space is given by Dalking, and the position retained for the time being through Cheetah now. Nothing the Porsche can do on the Ferrari. Ferrari goes defensive, middle of the road for the final corner. And this battle is going to go down to turn 1. It looks like Nowakowski is going to be able to get the pedal down earlier. Ferrari goes right to the inside. They're going to be pushed across the pit lane exit as the Ferrari goes back to the racing line. The Porsche stays on the inside, and that looks like it might be the pass done as the Ferrari rejoins. Mere millimetre separating Nowakowski and King there, but the pass is made. Fantastic driving from all concerned. Really superb car control and politeness from AOR drivers here. Now then, this is interesting. Let me just get eyes on Wonko, who is in traffic at the moment, but he's made a pit stop. Wonko is now the leader of the cars to have made a pit stop. No, El Haddad is in the pits and will drop. Oh, he just leaves the pits now. God damn it. Come on, give me back Wonko. There we go, Wonko. El Haddad is going to be on the inside there, and Wonko does it. Being able to be at full pace, El Haddad had nothing to say, but that's really interesting because Wonko was significantly in front of El Haddad there. There's been some pretty good strategy plays from the 919 here to be so close to Wonko come pit exit. I wonder if that is a non-tyre pit stop. It wouldn't really make sense because if I remember correctly, you can do tyres and fuel at the same time in this. That's interesting. Police finally goes to the pits as well. Apparently it's down 2 laps, which I find difficult to believe. But El Haddad has pushed himself back up into contention for what is on aggregate second place and on potentially fresher tyres. Potentially fresher tyres. Unfortunately, we don't know, and we don't have any teams that we can ask, or team members that we can ask, as to whether that 919 is on fresh tyres. But behind him is a lapped car. Whoa, as the lapped car has a bit of an incident and will go straight into the pits. What a fortunate timing to... What a fortunate place and time to make that happen. There we go. 27 for the win. Oh no. I think I just saw a spot of rain. I'm watching the darkness at the top of the screen. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's rain or not. Oh, please don't tell me it's going to start raining again. Not changing tyres in a 90-minute race would be silly. I completely agree, but track position is absolutely everything. And if you think that you have the pace on the older tyres or you can make it last, Nowakowski and so. Yes, but it's the Colo part. So, it's Solak. Because I want to say Solakowski, but it's not that. It's Sokolowski. There we go. Thank you for the encouragement. Oh man. Still, who are you referring to with when you say carbon? For what it's worth, just in case it's not obvious, I am paying attention to chat. You are all very much appreciated there. Any comments, any questions arising, anything at all that you want to put down there, please do. I will do my best to answer it. I will do my best to answer it, and if I can't, I will try and find the right person come the end of the race to answer it. I'm saying what I see. Unfortunately, you guys will have better data on the pit wall than I could possibly have up here in the comm box. We have eyes on Haddad at the moment, who is now dropping back slightly from the 4401 coat. There we go. Battles around the track to be looking for. I'll tell you what might be quite interesting is in 9th place we've got Carson at the moment, has not made a pit stop and is falling behind Yorkie. Nope, is in front of Yorkie. There we go. It looked like he was 3/10 behind the 900 car. Ah, there we go. Getvan has lost a position to Yorkie as well. There we go. So Getvan, for whatever reason, is suffering on those in that 900 car. This is a battle for position, I believe, as Getvan was one of the drivers to pit very early with pace. Can Prendergast win? Good question. Well asked. He is in the pits now. He is in the pits for his one and only pit stop. He is very safely in the window for fuel, and he is going to have an interesting time of it. That is definitely tyres. That is a long time stationary. Where is he going to come out? Oh, this is hard. This is painful. Prendergast drops down the timesheets as the other drivers come through. I don't think the Ferrari's got it, you know. That was a painfully slow pit stop. Sorry for that. But he did do the entire pit lane before he pitted. So he has dropped in behind El Haddad. So suddenly this Porsche and Audi dominated race suddenly doesn't look so Porsche and Audi dominated anymore. We have a Ferrari and Mercedes in the mix. As I say, I don't think Prendergast, I don't think he quite has the pace to take the win tonight. His fastest lap was a 1:42.7, and he's currently running about a second off that before he pitted. But there's any number of reasons why the pit stop could have been long. It could have been because he's putting more fuel in. It could be because he's changing tyres. It could be because he's carrying damage. He had been lapping a lot of cars and he'd been fighting a lot to get to the position where he was in. So maybe he had a bit of aero damage that he was just going to try and fix. That's a really good point. If there was a bit of aero damage on that car, and Prendergast now has a fighting fit Ferrari, it's possible. It's possible, you know. You've gotta. It's yeah. It's not out of the question. The 065 has given way to Getvan in the 900. It looks like Prendergast is dropping back, it looks like, from El Haddad. Yeah, that's quite a big space now. Unfortunately, look at it, 16 seconds in arrears, and that is a lovely gap for the leading Ford to fit in. I don't know is the short answer. We're going to need to watch his times as he's heavy on fuel now. It's not imperceivable, but I'm not, yeah. Niels, really sad that you're not in the race tonight. I really appreciated your DM last week as well. So I was hoping that you'd be in the race tonight, but really hope you get well soon, dude. As the top 4 remain to pit, gaps are all annoyingly seem to have spread out a little bit. But remember, we haven't. The drama is not done yet for these drivers, as all of those cars that pitted on lap 1 and anywhere before, I think it was Jadir Honzik, are going to need to pit again. So Honzik is safe in that 13th position. He's only going to go up from here. But Chorus, Yorkie, Maya, Babin, Getvan, I think as well. I'm going to go with a no. I would like to think that Prendergast can take it to the cars at the top, but I don't think he quite has the pace. That's not to say that I don't doubt his ability. It's just that Ferrari isn't quite as tasty as Wunko's 44 Mercedes at the moment, who is coming up to lap some more cars. That is Andrade actually in front of Wunko. This is a race for position, but Andrade hasn't pitted yet. So actually he should be pitting quite soon, because we just hit the halfway point of the race. Really interesting to see how early drivers are making pit stops. But that Porsche, who's the Porsche in front as well? I didn't quite catch the number. That is Machowski, Greco, all the way down in 27th, looking to unlap himself from the 12. The 12's going to go to the inside, and now this is a really interesting fight. Greco, we know, has pace for the top of the field, but oh man, he is a lap down. That was a little bit too rude to be pushing that far through that quickly. Wunko tries to go to the outside. It's not going to happen through the crocodiles. The best opportunity he's going to have is trying to set the car up through the final corner onto the start-finish straight. Onto Cheetah as Andrade drops to the pits, it looks like. Yes. Into the pits goes Andrade, the number 12 car. And again, suddenly, 23 seconds is the gap from Statsenko to Wunko. And this is a battle for the lead. So 23 seconds is the gap to between first and second. And you have to wonder if that 44 car has used up the best of its ability. We'll find the answer out in a couple of seconds. Being coupled up behind 23 to 18 seconds. I don't know how legitimate that was, but Statsenko is either struggling to make his way through traffic. You have to ask that question, maybe. Bouquet and Lucky W are both the drivers we're looking to pit now. Lucky W was relatively in this fight for the lead. But 5 seconds in arrears does Statsenko, and Bouquet drops to pit lane. The 9 car will take new tyres and new fuel. I'm just going to move my chat over a little bit so I can actually see what you're doing without losing the broadcast. So there we go. Still in pit lane. Yes, go on, Kieran. I'm definitely going to be cheering Prendergast on. Because if anyone can do it, it is Kieran. The 40 second gap is looking a bit of a struggle, but it's not impossible. What is possible, however, is the 919 taking the fight to Wunko. I don't know where that's happened. Statsenko as well is losing time off of Lucky as well, so the drivers don't seem to be running at their top pace at the moment. That is other than Haddad, who is having a whale of a time following the 44 around the track. Let's just very quickly look. Getvan and Prendergast are locked in a battle as well. I really wish that wouldn't disappear. I support all drivers. I support all the drivers. I just want them all to do their best. Getvan is tailing Prendergast now for 5th position. Or what is going to be 4th position. Prendergast is running wide. Not feeling the pressure, it seems, from that 900 car. Ooh, super tight as they come over the top of the hill at Leocop. Back down the hill through Mineshaft and up towards the Crocodiles. 900 goes to the outside, Ferrari to the inside. Beautiful blocking by Prendergast. Can he hold the car? The Lamborghini goes to the inside. It's not going to happen. Oh, it's not going to happen through Cheetah. Thank goodness it was so close to happening through Cheetah, but it didn't quite. Brilliant blocking here. Very clever driving from Prendergast to keep the Lamborghini behind. And across the line again, the split is going to be 0.3 of a second. We'll jump back to the battle for what is, on aggregate, second. And I'm going to just have a drink. One moment. Oh. If you thought casting was easy, try it. It's great. You sound like a man afterwards. That's from the sore throat. That's nothing to do with anything else. Right, what do we have? Getvan putting massive pressure on Prendergast for 5th position, and Haddad, a position in front, is hassling Oneco, who is trying to make his way past lapped cars, but can't quite make it happen. Let me just, there we go. My favoured set of cameras. Slightly wider gives us a better view, as you can see the undulation through this track. Absolutely astounding. This is a proper racetrack. Nothing made for racing, using the topography of the local area and just laying a beautiful black ribbon of asphalt over the hills where they stand. As Haddad and Oneco still fighting for 3rd at the moment. Lucky W is going very, very long with that and is losing a massive amount of time to Statsenko now. 18 seconds it was before, 12 the gap now, and Oneco a mere 20 seconds. So Statsenko is gaining on the leader. Oneco is gaining a little bit slower, but gaining nonetheless on Statsenko here. And with 36 minutes remaining, we need not remind you that there's only one lap that you need to be leading, and that is the final one. You don't even need to be leading as the clock ticks to 0. You literally just need to be leading the lap after that. It's incredible. The amount of times we've seen last lap changes and turnovers and upsets in AOR, especially on the last lap, and even once the result was almost sealed, defies belief. Getvan on Prendergast is still as they stay. Prendergast is weaving all over the back. Sorry, Getvan is weaving all over the back of Prendergast, trying to find a way through. A stalwart defense from the Ferrari, beautifully driven, and yet again, coming through the final sector, the Ferrari's just able to get the throttle down while defending, and that's the problem here. Is Prendergast might be able to match the pace of the Lamborghini behind, but while he's defending, never going to happen. Brilliant defense here, however, by Prendergast, and it's not happening into turn 1, that's for sure. Now Akowski, meanwhile, on the sister Porsche of Babin, down in 13th, a mere 10th behind. Coming down the start-finish straight, this is going to be one of the better passing places, especially when you're going for the same marked car. He's up underneath the draft. Babin selects his braking point. Now Akowski goes to the inside. There may have been contact, just the friendliest of touches there, though. And they remain line astern for the moment, but now Akowski is wanting to make moves, and I'm pretty sure this was just in front of the... No, I was wrong. There was a battle in front of the leading battle that we were just talking about. But now Akowski looking super aggressive here, managed to carry so much speed, forces Babin to block up the inside, and once again is going to carry a massive amount of speed on the exit. Where on earth are they? This is through the S's now. And up towards Leeuwkop. Will he make a move through Leeuwkop? The road kinks to the right, and the Porsche of Babin is going to go defensive all the way up the hill. Side by side they come into Leeuwkop. It's never going to happen there. But can the 25 car get the undercut? There's a second apex there. The Porsche is giving him space. And now they are side by side coming back down the hill. This corner here has no name. They're coming up towards the Crocodiles. What a name for that. And on the outside now Akowski is just ahead. Absolutely insane. Side by side once again these two Porsches up towards Cheetah. There's flashing lights from now Akowski and runs just off the road and will have to block into the final corner at Inge. What a rush! I'm sure they were both on the edge of their seats, literally. Trying to keep hold of the cars, not forgetting and blocking still into turn 1. Babin has not given up this position. Bear in mind this is over 11th as well. 25 blocks massively. But is just able to hold on to that 11th position. You would hope that Akowski now would be able to pull away a bit from Babin in the 925 with the amount of pace that he was showing beforehand. But we have a train. No, Prendergast. How? I'm just gonna give Prendergast another bit of camera time because my goodness, he's still got the 900 car behind him. This is an incredible drive. Absolutely astonishing drive. Where's Wonko gone? I'm going to check my timings now. Oh no! Whoa, what's happened here? The engine's running. Wonko, from what was a press for the lead and a stalwart defense. What? I've got to see this. 44 car. In 29th position here. He comes over the top of the hill. It's way too far back. That's why. Oh. Goes in at the top of the hill, it looks like. Nope. I can't see where that is on the track, unfortunately. Oh yeah, final corner, gets a bit of a twitch. It's not the final corner, is it? I'm going, yeah it is, yeah, I'm not going mental. And everything looks okay there so far. Gonna run wide, oh, gets a punt from the Porsche behind into the barrier. Gets rolling again. Gets back onto the track, does the 44, back onto the racing line. And, oh, it looks like that is a massive amount of damage for Wonko. That's what, oh, he can't turn left. Oh man, oh, that's heartbreak for Wonko, who is still sat in the gravel. Oh, that is pure heartbreak. Will retire to the pits, and that is his press for the lead just evaporating. Meanwhile, and now, okay, so now this is an interesting fight now, because this is the fight for third overall, as Tatsenko will swap places with Lucky W. Lucky W still not pitted. Absolutely incredible run here from the 29 car. He must be holding on to some very, very, very old slick tyres there. I can't imagine he's possibly running on wets at all. 3:40 in the morning. The sun is just trying to peek over the head of the horizon here. As yes, Prendergast is now in third position. We wait for the split times through the next sector. 13 seconds in arrears is Prendergast. So Al Haddad seemed to be able to have that gap stabilized in the 919. The absence of Wonko's Mercedes in front is going to... as a drive-through for Getvan? Oh, he jumps straight into the pits, and suddenly Prendergast, who has been defending so valiantly over the past, gotta be 15 minutes, has just had that pressure relieved, just taken away from him. And suddenly there is so much clear air around Prendergast. Let's jump on board with the man who has been under so much pressure and just hear that one engine on the overrun too. .900, yep. Kevin has got a stop-go, 30-second stop-go penalty. Drive-through for Bouquet now. So these drive-throughs are probably coming from track corner warnings, corner cut warnings. So they're running too wide off the edge of the track and is losing, and that's what they're and that's what's causing it. So Prendergast somehow is, I think he's got a curse on him. I'm pretty sure he's got a curse on him as Bouquet drops into the pits. That stop-go penalty for Getvan is going to be because he was speeding into the pit lane. A stop-and-go 30 seconds as he jumps into the pits, and now just behind the drive-through of Mayer, I think it was? No, Bouquet. Getvan, we're not going to sit with this, but he's going to be sat there for 30 seconds. This is going to seem like an eternity, and he's going to drop him so far down the field. We'll jump to 17th, and Varela, who is still staying out there and running fine. The question I have, so Honzik is 8th at the moment. We know he can get to the end on his fuel strategy. I think the other drivers may have started to drop to the pits now. Babin in the pits as well. Protection, yes, absolutely. It's a, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just one of those things that Ferrari, they wanted a Ferrari on the podium, so they're just going to make sure it happens for whatever reason. And I did say to watch at the start of the race, I told you to watch Yorkie. He really is a dark horse, literally and figuratively, up into 5th position, albeit this may not be for overall positions here, simply because he pitted so early. He will probably have to stop for fuel again. But he's being tailed by Mayer and Chorus. Eyes on Chorus at the moment. But he's doing the job. He's doing the work. He may have to, as I say, he may have to pit for fuel again, but all the while he can keep the Porsche and the Audi behind. As Chorus goes defensive on Maya, the Audi has a higher speed in a straight line. The 27 goes defensive, tries to go around the outside, and has it done so easily. But Chorus is not going to fight that for the time being. I don't think he had anything to fight that with. I wonder what tyres Chorus is on, because that was a little bit too easy for the Audi driver. As Maya now will set off in pursuit of the 65 car. I wish I had eyes on Yorkie's stream right now. I really do, because I want to know how much fuel he has remaining and if he's going to be pushing this to the end. Questions we all need to ask and need to discover. 13th position, Kevin Saklari, after a nightmare start to the race. Another driver who we may be looking at needing to pit for fuel come the end of the race will come up to Aiden Bro and has the inside line going through Sunset now. Up to the very top of the hill they come. Clubhouse Bend, and a lovely line there. Beautiful camera angle as well, as the sun just starts to peek over the horizon proper at 10 past 4. The light is starting to hit the track, and the drivers are just starting to be able to see a little bit further ahead of them. This is going to be an absolutely insane close to the race. Lucky W still somehow circulating out there in second position, having done no pit stops. How on earth is he keeping those tyres underneath him? Must be a Porsche. 22 litres of fuel, so litre a minute. Oh, that's tight. Oh, it may just be a splash and dash come the end. Rain in 2 minutes. You are joking. You're kidding me. There's rain in 2 minutes. No way. Is that from the pit wall? I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Just when you thought this race couldn't get any more topsy-turvy, we have had a forecast of rain for the close of this race. 21 minutes remaining. 21 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. The 474 tries to go around the outside of the 65. That's never going to happen. And we are looking at rain. And suddenly are we being gifted a Yorkie for a top 10 finish in the 65 car. Can the drivers make the tyres last for 20 minutes? I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's possible. The wipers are on the 474. It is raining hard enough for it to be... Oh no. Oh no. So Yorkie has to hold on to his fuel for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, and if the track gets wet enough before then, he's home free. Oh, and this is a gift from the racing gods. It really is. Thank you, KUNOS, for what you are giving us today. 15th position, Samuel Ratz right on the back of Varela in the 99, still trying to push his way past. Saklari has made his way past as well, all the way up to 12th position. Suddenly, we have questions to ask as to whether these tyres are going to last to the end of the race. We're going to jump to the... no, we're not. We're going to jump to the helicopter camera for a second to watch these cars coming down the start-finish straight. Rats on the Ferrari. In the Ferrari, the Aston lets Rat go, not wanting any part of that particular fight, unfortunately. But now, oh, this is has really thrown the cat amongst the pigeons. Let's have a look at our incumbent leader for the time being, who's further up the same straight. Wow. From as Lucky W has pitted, comes out of... He's pitted, he's done a lap, and has re-emerged in third. Don't tell me that's legitimate. Wow. So a genius move from Lucky W has seemingly pushed Prendergast. I didn't think the gap was that big. Prendergast is only 3 seconds off, and with clear air around him has got the space to make it work. But you have to... How long can the drivers make these tyres last? 16th Veerman on the back of Varela as well. Varela is just giving the places away. I don't think he's wanting to fight. He just wants to hold on to the car to the end of the race. In 15th position, you have to question... Well, Varela has a gap of 10 seconds to get Van behind. So maybe he's just running his race, not trying to get in anyone else's, and seeing if he can pick up any places. So Mike Veerman running a very sensible, slow and steady wins the race approach here. There we go. That camo green Aston Martin. I do not want to say a single word. This is not something I am qualified to comment on in the slightest. This is edge of the seat stuff now for the next 18 minutes. Wow. Yes, good morning too. We've made it through the night. We've made it through the night, and let's jump on with Yorkie for a second. I've got to do this. Beautiful, beautiful noise from the Aston. Pit entrance on the left-hand side there. It looks slightly different with the overcast sky. We know that Yorkie is going to be making a pit stop in around 5 laps time or so. He does not have the fuel to get to the end of the race. More importantly, he's wiggling backwards and forwards. The tyres are getting cold. He doesn't have the heat to be able to make the tyres work. But this is going to be a problem up and down the field. The tyres are going to go off. The rumour is the rain is expected to get heavier. And Yorkie, again... I say it again, if he can hold it together, he is being gifted a top 10 finish here. And a massive boon of points for this finish. And what a recovery drive as well, if this is how the race is going to end. Oh my. Oh my. So, keep your eyes on the timing screens, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to be seeing the pits one last time. Can Kieran get third? Yes, he can. Dear God, look at the closing speed for Kieran Prendergast. Heavy rain in 6 minutes. So about 5 once the YouTube delay is dealt with here. The 10 car now within a second. Got to be within a second. Oh, not quite. Of Lucky W, who has a 15 dead deficit to Al Haddad. So this is... thank you very much for all of the technical information you're giving me here, guys. This is excellent. Okay, so Prendergast still being able to make the slicks work, while Lucky W is not able to make the slicks. Let's jump on board with the Ferrari and check the posture of the Porsche in front. A later apex, Ferrari much more comfortable to take a smoother line through that long right hander and then down the gears up here to Clubhouse. There's still a dry line, but not all the way around the track, and this is insane. Aiden in the pits. Bro is in the pits in the 93, the first to eschew the slick tyres as the Porsche goes so wide, and now he's within striking distance. Kieran Prendergast is well within striking distance for the podium here. The number 10 car runs on the racing line. Lucky W goes defensive very, very early. 29 car is going to stick to the right hand side of the road here and try and get into the apex, but those tyres are going off. The car is not happy on that particular rubber in these particular conditions, and you've got to wonder if it's just a matter of time. We jump back to the outside cameras as they go onto the start-finish line. You can see how tight the Ferrari is able to get. The Porsche pulls to the inside, trying to defend his line, but the Ferrari has just got a little edge, just the tiniest of edges in the braking zone. Had to take evasive action there, and up the inside is not going to happen up here. The next corner goes right. We'll have to duck back inside. The 29 goes defensive again. Not quite that time, but this is only a matter of time now. There we go. Yes, we know Lucky likes the rain, just not these tyres. The tyres probably don't like the weather more than Lucky does. Whether that's pressures or whether that's just compound that's causing the issue, or just age. Could also be age. 10 gets a little wiggle on up behind. Was that a white flag? Huh. Prendergast gets a little wiggle on up behind Lucky W. Yorkie, meanwhile, somehow is still out. The Ferrari goes to the outside. Porsche blocking to the inside. The Porsche is going to wash out wide. Just keeps it tucked in. Beautifully driven by Lucky here. Varela drops into the pits. And my goodness, we are going to have some battles through to the end of the race. Ferrari still being able to make those tyres work as the 29 goes very wide again. Still just able to get the throttle down and keep it working. The 10 car having another kick of oversteer. The draft of the Porsche in front not helping that Ferrari stick to the road. Ferrari uses the racing line. The 29 blocks to the inside, and is that going to be the invitation? Not quite. The 10 pulls back into the slipstream using a much smoother racing line and dives to the inside, but it's not going to happen again for the 10 car. This is nail-biting stuff for both drivers. The conditions are treacherous. They don't want to take each other out from such brilliant positions in the race, but you have to wonder how long they can hang on here. 12 minutes to go. Yorkie is in the pits from 9th position. That will be forced by fuel. Down King in the pits as well. The 38 car drops, and that is going to promote Seclari to 10th position, provided he doesn't jump into the pits himself. 10 car and the 29 still attached by a very, very short piece of bungee cord. The 10 looks so poised in these worsening conditions. The 29 looks so floaty on the front end. Perhaps a side effect of the engine being so far back is going to miss the apex, and the 10 is now just... And there we go. That was too much for Lucky. It looks like... I don't think that was even. The position being given in very large air quotes there. That was just the 29 running out of tyre for whatever that is worth. And here we go. Prendergast for 3rd position behind Al Haddad and Statsenko. Thunderstorm coming in 6 minutes. We are going to end on an absolute car crash. Not literally, hopefully. Chorus on the back of Honzik now. The 39 and the 27 separated by a slightly longer bungee cord. As we've established, these Porsches don't seem to enjoy the conditions that much. Meyer and Nowakowski are dropping into the pits, presumably for fuel. Suddenly this race is turning on its head yet again, as Yorkie will emerge in 13th. Kieran has done, Prendergast has done an absolutely astounding job here, and is just gapping Lucky W, one of the fastest racers in this league. And Prendergast has done it the hard way, has not asked for a single quarter to be given to him. We're going to just go down to Bro here, who is right on the back of Varela here. Aston V Aston, old versus new. They both look absolutely glorious, to be fair. And the 29 is right in the middle of this. This is survival now for the 29 car. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Hang on. Yep, that's Lucky. Lucky's still out on slicks and is getting lapped. Or is getting overtaken by lapping cars. He's going to try and stick it out, but how long can you really run around on slick tyres there? Yep, everybody is going to have cold tyres right now as Lucky drops to the pits. I don't, there is no right answer here. I'm sorry to say this, but there is no right answer here. You either stay out on slicks and you risk throwing it at the scenery. As you can see, look at the state of that tarmac. This isn't slick weather, this is full wet weather. The 93 as Prendergast as well. Prendergast is holding on for dear life, as that's probably the thing that has pushed Lucky to drop to the pits, having wet tyres on. 8 minutes worth of wet tyres could see him overhaul Prendergast, and now every second that Prendergast is not on wet tyres is another second that Lucky is going to be able to gain. And if anybody switches, now here's a question, I need to know this. Yorkie is 11th. Yorkie, wet tyres. Let's see. He is 2 seconds off Getven at the last split. Now 1.4. This is going to be incredible in a top 10 finish for our resident head commentator. Round the outside of the 110, that looks like that was a lapped car, so good that they got well out of the way. And this is the difference wet tyres makes. Just a little bit more confidence to be able to get on the throttle. Yes, you can manage it, but it's not going to be quick. As Getven goes wide, the slick tyres cry enough, and Yorkie is gifted that 9th position now. As he comes up to the next split. That's the thing, you can make it work, you can manage it, you can get there if you have a gap. Prendergast is safe, El Haddad is safe, I'm going to suggest Senko is safe. Honzik surviving all the way to 4th, so it's Audi, Porsche, Ferrari are your top 4. And suddenly the Ferraris are the first with 2 cars in the positions. Yorkie will take to 9th position. Here we go. Here we go. Bring on the thunder. 6 minutes remaining. And it's going to be absolutely incredible, the finish of this race. As Lucky looking slightly happy. He's definitely happy on wet tyres. Duh. As we know that he did pit, is just going to walk up the inside of Rats here in the 808. Around the outside, absolutely no chance for the Ferrari. And side by side, they are still somehow, that Ferrari's hanging on around the outside using the karting line. But now Lucky's going to have the outside. Oh, bit of a sideways moment there for Rats somehow. Lucky was in front by 100th of a second there. Rats still defending valiantly, but the tyres are not going to give him what he needs. The 29 car has the inside now, but is playing so politely with the 808 car. Oh, as Rats gets on the bumps on the exit and is gonna suffer coming to the next corner. This is ridiculous, this is. The 29 car has all of the pace, all of the grip. Honzik won't pit. No, I totally agree. Honzik will not be pitting here. And it looks like there's a stalwart defense going from the drivers who have not pitted for slicks as well. So defense is very much possible here, but Lucky is going to be haunting that Ferrari. Yeah, actually, where is Honzik? So Honzik's got a 21-second deficit. You have to think that that's possible. But the 29 car up the inside of Rats here. The Ferrari's somehow getting traction off the line, unless Rats has made a pit stop as well. Bjorky still in 9th position, closing the gap down to Meyer in the 474 behind this fight. Now down to 1.2 seconds. And this is... Oh, the Ferrari runs out of grip, runs out of tyre, and just concedes the position to the 29, as the 29 had to for Prendergast earlier in this race. And next on Lucky's hit list, 13 seconds up the road, will be Bouquet for 5th. So not necessarily a good choice with this little race remaining. I said it, and now we have to see if I have cursed the entire grid to fall off in the final lap. Machowski, Greco in the 11 car is pressuring Karsten, who isn't exactly a million miles off Andrade, in 13th to 15th respectively. Yes, puddles are going to be the slick's worst enemy now. I don't think we've seen any puddles form yet, although that may be just my eyes not being keen enough. It's going to be through the S's here that we're going to start to see them first. That dip is going to be a nightmare for any of the drivers, especially if they're running on slicks. But this is the battle for 13th position, and make no mistake, these guys are pushing as hard as they possibly can. It doesn't matter how fast they're going now, because there is a whole lot of cards that have just been thrown up in the air. Looks like the Porsche has a lot more pace, as up the inside goes the 11. A little bit of contact made. I think that's all fair. Karsten went for the line. The car wasn't quite up far enough alongside. But the Lambo goes to the racing line. The 11 car has the position around on the inside. It's not going to push the Lamborghini off. He's already had that problem. And the Lambo, with the superior straight line speed, is going to take the position back for the moment. As, yep, Machowski goes for the outside line. I was just checking on Yorkie. Unfortunately, we only get updates every split. Side by side, they come back up the hill, as the Lambo, using every last ounce of grip, is struggling to keep hold of the back end of that Lambo. And this is where the Porsche has the advantages under traction, but has not got the speed to be able to push hard enough. But the Lambo goes wide. Side by side now up into Clubhouse, and the Porsche has the pass made. It was all easy come the end of the day. Next on the Porsche's hit list will be Andrade for Greco, as that looked all very slow. 49 seconds remaining in this session. Those past 10 minutes have flown by. I'm not going to jump to any replays tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I learned from my mistakes, as Yorkie is a very big chance here on his wet tyres of taking 2 for the price of 1. With Rats and Mayer both on slick tyres, we have to ask the question, where is our leader? Where is Statsenko? As the Audi goes up the inside of the Ferrari, the Aston is going to make it 3 wide as they come into turn 1 with the superior traction of the wet tyres. And this is going to be the last lap. Statsenko is going to crawl to the finish line. He's still up the top of the track, so we've got quite a bit of time yet. As Yorkie goes all the way up the inside, he's going to be nice and polite as Rats gets taken by the Audi, and soon it looks like, if he can get the traction down, by the Aston as well. Position gained by Yorkie is 1, and now he goes for Maya on the slick tyres in front. Those wet tyres, you have to wonder if he can make it happen. 8th position as they go across the sector times. Your race is about over at the head of the track, as he's not finished yet. Good grief, there's one more lap. This is insane. So it is not one more lap yet. Not one more lap, it looks like, as Yorkie comes with all of the pace and all of the pressure to apply to Maya here. Can he make the pass happen? That Audi is looking strong in a straight line, using all of the road. The Aston Martin, meanwhile, is able to just jaunt around the track. I wonder if Maya is on wets as well. I didn't see them pit. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Top of the timing screens, down to the last corner. Mikhail Statsenko is going to take the win in the 144 Audi. He crawl across the line, and one of the Audis as well, slowing down to make their life a little bit easier. The 919 somehow surviving on slick tyres too. It must be the hardest thing trying to hold on to that. But Maya and Yorkie, 8th will be as high as Matt will be getting tonight, unfortunately, but a superb drive by the Aston Martin driver, and Maya parks up alongside as the weather goes absolutely insane, it looks like. El Haddad still trying to survive around to the last sector, to the last stage of the lap. 919 emblazoned on the nose and the side. That is going to be a fortunate number for El Haddad tonight. And here we go. Across the line comes the 919 for an astounding second position. Very, very well driven, and so close behind. Look at that for Prendergast. A fantastic third place come the end of the race. And evasive manoeuvres needing to be made across the line. Honzik is going to come home a valiant and well-earned 4th position. And Lucky W, in the midst of fights the entire race, will end the race in beautifully clear air. The glowing exhaust that we saw earlier on in the race now cooled by the falling rain. And Bouquet will come round the last corner. Another fantastic drive from the number 9 Porsche to come across the line in 6th. 7th will be Alexei Mayer. 8th, as we said, will be Matt York. 9th will be Rats. Chorus in 10th. 11th will be Dalking. Nowakowski will come home 11th. 12th will be Marlon Andrade. Getven in 13th. 14th will be Machowski. 15th will be Babin. 17th will be Tiklari. Varela in 18th. 19th will be Karsten. 20th will be Bro. 21st will be Dimov. 22nd will be Cavion. 23rd will be Veerman. And now the drivers are starting to disappear, which means that I'm not going to be able to get any reliable responses. We've got Cavion 22nd, Veerman 23rd, Stevenson 24th, 25th will be De Jong, 26th will be Harkemper, Arnold will come home 27th, 28th will be Chavez, 29th will be Sanders, and 30th will be Please. Let me see if I can get any more than that. I cannot off of my... Dimov will be 31st, Wonko 32nd, 34th will be Niles, Harkemper 35th, Malinowski, Solman... I think the timing screens have all gone to pot. And my goodness, we have drivers for interview. This is almost a shock, but I wouldn't be surprised. First into the com box, I am proud to drag Yorkie, Matt that was an absolutely incredible race for you. Congratulations on 8th and running as high as 5th. Once again, you are making a habit of getting into the top 10 here. How was that race for you? Talk us through it.
That race was absolutely mental. Started second to last. Started on a set of wet tyres. The wet tyres were overheating on the formation lap. So I knew I was on the wrong tyre straight away. And yeah, basically pitted at the end of the first racing lap. Was in a lot of clear air, so I was basically just driving. Fortunately, I took a full tank of fuel straight from the very off. So I knew that would give me plenty of options in terms of running the race strategy. But yeah, it was basically just a case of driving for as long as I could. The tyres ended up coming in pretty good whilst other people were struggling after having just come out the pits. Because I did change onto the slicks.
Yeah.
And I stuck with those basically until the tank ran nearly dry. I had about a lap or two more fuel, but obviously the rain came and it felt very much like the right sort of time to go in to do the stop to change, well, take the fuel that I needed to go the rest of the way, but also change the tyres and gamble and see if that worked. It looked like a few people stuck it out on the slicks at the end and managed to hold position, but if we had another 5 minutes, that could have been a podium, I reckon.
Oh, absolutely. I don't doubt that in the slightest. No, it was actually kind of unfortunate that there wasn't. We kind of need another half hour of the race, really, didn't we?
Yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, the golden black Aston really showing its true colours today. Absolute weapon in both conditions. It really was. You were in the thick of it the entire time. Now, time for a well-earned drink, I think.
Yeah, I'll only be water. I might have a beer in the fridge, but probably won't have that. Just a celebratory water bottle.
Absolutely. Anything to get the liquids back up from that grueling race. But congratulations on the result, and what I can only imagine is a fantastic race. I'll probably be watching your live stream back once I'm finished streaming here.
Thank you.
I can't imagine how crazy it must have been from your point of view.
It was good. It was a little bit lonely in places. There wasn't many cars, but you could tell you're kind of gap battling with Sora climbing up through the table. And the chat was rolling away, talking constantly. So there's plenty of entertainment to go on, and kind of you hear my thoughts and stuff. So it'd be awesome if people gave it a watch.
Cheeky plug there.
Yes,
not
very much so. Yoki065, go there now.
There you go. And yeah, how did you get the 065 number on the car, by the way? Is that just a thing that you can do?
It's you can go for a triple-digit number. So yeah, 065 is the obviously associated with my name, and it's kind of what I ran here. For me, it comes up saying just 65. It doesn't have the 0 beforehand for whatever reason, but I'm guessing you're seeing it as a 065.
It looks it's 65 on the timing screens, but on the car it's 065.
Okay,
which I guess is what matters.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Exactly. You have a lovely evening, mate. Enjoy your celebratory water, and hopefully we'll speak to you next time. And hopefully it'll be a podium this time.
I doubt it. I think that's the best chance I'll have all season with the podium, considering the pace of everyone here. But yeah, thanks very much, Ike.
No worries.
I'll be checking out the live stream later as well.
No worries, mate. You have a good evening.
You too.
Oh, fuck. Well, there we go. Right. Next into the... com box, as I let go a little bit too quickly there, we will drag Prenter.
Hey,
what an insane!
How you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fine, mate. How on earth are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Oh, it was a tough race.
Yeah, just a little bit. Talk us through it from your point of view, because I got no words, man. I used up all of mine during the race. That was absolutely insane from start to finish.
Yeah, it was a very tough one. I messed up my quali. Didn't manage to get the full potential out in quali, and come to the race. And I knew that with the greasy conditions, you could sort of risk dry tires. And I saw some people going onto the wet tires and stuff, and you could immediately see, the strategy sort of played out into my hands with the dry tires to start off with.
Yeah. So what happened? because you'll have to forgive me, because that was a crazy race. 3rd position, if I'm not wrong, come the end of the race, and the biggest gamble I think you could possibly say is staying out on slicks. How was it in the last 10 minutes?
The last 10 minutes were probably the trickiest of the race. I mean, you're down the straight, aquaplaning. You know, there's no grip whatsoever. So, you know, you're putting the traction control up, the ABS up, and stuff, just to sort of give yourself that edge and the safety on the track, really.
Yeah, I can imagine. But nonetheless, 3rd position overall. It goes to show how much weather can play a factor in these races, and how the right decision at the right time can really change the makeup of a race. And I think you probably played that pretty much to perfection today.
Yeah, I'm happy with the result. I mean, the last couple races haven't been the best, but today is definitely a redemption, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So now a springboard to lift you up through the rest of the season then, one would assume.
Yep. Hopefully, it should put me up in the standings. I haven't quite checked it yet, but
we've not got that far yet, but we'll be able to look at that. We'll be able to look at that another time. But a brilliant race, and an absolutely astonishing drive up the field from yourself as well. Well held from start to finish. Your dad was in chat as well, cheering you on, asking what the odds are you winning, what the odds are you getting this position, that position. So yeah, you got some support there, and you've thoroughly deserved it tonight. That was a fantastic drive and a very well earned podium tonight.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Go have a
and congrats to the winner as well. He played it well. He had a really good race as well, very fast.
Yes, Statsenko was significantly further up in the at any point. He was he pretty much had the race to himself there. Compared to yours, it was a nice calm drive. I'll tell you who was probably the worst off out of all of them was Lucky W in the 29 car.
Yeah, he had a good race, but I think the conditions kind of changed. I'm not too sure what his wet pace was like, but
it fell off a cliff. That's what happened. No. So he had to when you were battling with him, he basically just ran out of tyre. The tyres cooled off, and he had nothing left for anything there. So he pitted for wets and managed to make up a few places. Got to 5th in the end. But it was fantastic to watch the latter stages of the race. Different people taking different strategies, and it really threw the cat amongst the pigeons. But thank you for giving us a massive amount of entertainment tonight, and I hope you're going to have a drink in celebration as well.
Yeah.
Good man.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
Good man. Hopefully see you next week. And that is all of the drivers that we have in the ready to interview room. I really do wish that some of more of the tier 1 drivers came and spoke to me, because as you can tell, getting it from the horse's mouth makes this stream so much more enjoyable for me, let alone for you. Congratulations to our podium winners, and well, what else is there to say other than I have been Eike Sky, you've been watching the Apex Online Racing Assetto Corsa Competizione GT3 League Season 4 Tier 1 Round 4 from Kyalami, and it's been an absolute pleasure commentating this race for you. I will see you next time out. I will see you next time out at Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit for a return to the 60-minute format and my home track. So, I've got no excuses for getting the corner names wrong, and even less of an excuse for getting any of the calls wrong. I will see you then, and I hope that everyone has a lovely week, and until then, I will see you. Goodbye.